Hi, doulas. Nice to see you again. As always, it's been too long since I've said hello. There's been just so much going on in the world lately, and just been thinking about so many different things. But as I kind of sat here in this beautiful day today, I was thinking about um, my work as a doula over the last almost 20 years, and was thinking a little bit about when people talk about whether doula work is essential or not. You know, as we've kind of gone through and navigated through COVID, one of the questions that has come up, at least in my community, is the question of, are doulas essential or not? So I think one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves right now as we explore across this entire planet issues around race and discrimination and equity, I think we need to ask ourselves two separate questions here. And when I think to myself, is doula support essential? It's kind of I've never really doubted the fact that it is essential. This thing keeps blowing in my face right now. Ugh. I do think that our work is really essential. I think it is especially essential in groups that are systemically and systematically um, discriminated against and treated differently in our medical system. That becomes especially essential to have someone by our side who understands these issues, who understands our medical system, who can help us navigate that. Um, Now, I think someone that understands our personal lived experience, um, for example, community-based doula programs, I think things like that make a lot of sense. I mean, having a doula that you can really connect with, who understands maybe your culture or your religion or your lived experience, I think I can understand how that would be really, really important to someone and how that would be extra beneficial. So are doulas essential? You know, I think in the context of all of that, I've always really felt strongly that yes, they are. When we ask ourselves, are doulas essential if you're a white, wealthy, coupled person, hetero, cisgendered, coupled person? Is a doula essential in that experience? And I don't know, I think a little bit longer on that one. I really do. And the fact that I do is testament to the injustice of our current society and our current medical system and the systemic racism and discrimination that's inherent in it. And that makes me really sad. It makes me really, really, really sad. Um, I think at the end of the day, in 18 years of doula experience, what I can say beyond the shadow of a doubt is that I have seen horrible things happen at every level of our medical system, to every gender identification, to every race, to every class of person. And so I think in birth right now, what we know is that we have some human rights issues happening. I think that's why doulas have become so popular and so necessary. I love this work so much. And those of you that are watching that are maybe newer doulas or thinking about becoming doulas, you know, you guys are the people that I train and that I interact with the most often. And I absolutely want you to not get scared off by all of the challenges that we're facing in our community right now and in the medical system right now. But it's also why we're so important. It's so important for doulas to for people to be trained as doulas and to continue to join this really amazing industry, profession, career. This work is really, really important. And to me, no matter how I slice and dice this, I don't think I've ever had a moment where I've wavered in thinking that doulas are essential, because I've stood by way, way, way too many moments of injustice in with regards to human rights in birth. And I think our presence makes things better. It makes it hard for us. It makes it hard as a doula to watch these things, to bear witness to these things. But my work in this field has been more about activism and human rights than I think it has been about anything. It's why I do the work that I do. And as I become more aware of the discrimination happening around us, um, I run a birth doula program at a hospital that operates on a sliding scale, and we have the privilege in this program of supporting families that have much lower incomes than the traditional doula client in an urban setting. And I absolutely unequivocally see a phenomenal amount of systemic racism directed at people of color and, people of lower socioeconomic um, areas and classes and individuals. And it's not okay. It's so friggin' not okay. And I know that's the topic of conversation right now, everywhere you look. But it's been a topic of conversation in the birth world for a really, really long time. And at least in my world, it has been for a really, really long time. It's been part of, what I've seen, absolutely. And so, we're sitting here in the middle of COVID, and we have our government deciding if we're essential or not. And so interesting to me that doulas are fighting amongst each other about whether or not we're essential or not. And I've really asked the question out loud a few times. I don't know if we're having the same experience as doulas here. Because for a doula to say that we're not an essential service, I have to wonder who it is they're serving, or what those experiences for themselves have and for their clients have looked like or felt like. Because I can't say that I've ever across the board seen complete human rights respect in birth. And so I think that's an important topic for us to continue discussing and thinking about. I encourage doulas, especially if you're a white birth worker, if you feel that doula services are not essential, I would encourage you to really spend some time on that and explore for yourself the kind of people that you've supported in your work, and why you think that doulas aren't essential. What do you think the difference is that you make being there that would be irrelevant if you weren't there? I think that's a really interesting question, because I feel really quite strongly to my core that there are certain groups of people that if their doula would not be present, that their experience, their level of respect would be diminished by not having presence of a doula there to help support them. To have that person that, that they can be completely vulnerable knowing that that person has their back and is there to help support them as they navigate really uncharted territories, right? And really an uncertain experience. So I don't know. I know I've kind of been kind of all over the place. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness, I think, video today. I really didn't want to prepare my thoughts ahead of time, which maybe I should have, or maybe I shouldn't have. I really kind of wanted to just share what came from my heart in this experience. COVID's been really tough, and lots of other things going on in the world right now are super tough. And I think we need to, at some point, is we need to just get really real with ourselves and our beliefs and our thinking, and explore that a little bit more, and really do some work to unravel all of that. So I'm going to post some resources in the description that may be able to help you on this topic, and will help you explore for yourself some things that you might be thinking about or wondering about. And I would love for you to also share your own resources and groups and anything else, thoughts that you want to share in the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe so that we can catch you again next time. Take care. Bye.